So this is the intersection of Kichi Zíbí Parkway and Lincoln Fields Transitway Station. So it's a location where the buses need to leave the parkway and enter the station. And it's an example of a place where Ottawa has set up some really good transit priority. So approaching the left turn lane, there's a dedicated bus left turn lane. I guess approaching the left turn. But the problem is that buses actually need to be detected before they enter the left turn lane in order for the signal to have enough time to react, to get them a green light so they don't have to stop. So there's actually a transit-only detector way up here, which I'm going to go see if I can try to find. So I found the bus detector. It's actually just before the start of the bus lane. The transit detection is 150 meters back from the intersection, and there are 2 pulse loops 9 meters apart. So a call is only placed when both loops are occupied simultaneously, which would only really happen if a vehicle is more than 9 meters long. And on Kichi Zíbí Parkway, trucks are not allowed, so pretty much all the vehicles that would be more than 9 meters are going to be buses. OC Transpo used to have TSP transponders on the buses, but they've abandoned that system now because it was getting old and hard to find parts. So now they have to do everything with regular detectors, which means they have to do some, I guess, somewhat unusual setups like the one here. Although the intersection works pretty well, there is one weird quirk to the programming, which you can see when I press the button here. There is a 6-second delay between when I press the button and when the light actually changes to yellow, even though there's no pedestrian phase along Kichi Zíbí Parkway. The 6-second delay also applies to bus calls, which is why the bus detectors needed to be placed so far in advance of the intersection, even before the start of the bus lane. And even so, the buses often get stopped for about a second before the light changes to green. If they got rid of the dummy pedestrian phase along the parkway, it would only take about 5.5 seconds for the signal to respond, so they could just use a regular detector in the bus lane, while also starting the green about a second earlier. I'd be curious to know why they set it up like this. It seems like generally a pretty well-designed intersection, so I don't think it's incompetence or anything like that. My guess is that it might be a bug that they were trying to solve with the signal programming. I know when I've been programming TSP, occasionally I've also put a dummy pedestrian phase in to get around bugs in the signal controller. So overall, it looks like the city has done a really good job of putting in transit priority at this intersection. When the buses just show up, and it's been sitting there for a while, so it's been resting in green, they do get a green right away. And looks like the only situation where buses do actually get stopped is if they happen to just miss the green and have to sit through the minimum green for the oncoming traffic here. Looks like to improve that, they could potentially put in actually a shorter minimum green just for transit. So, for example, they can have it a shorter minimum green, but then in the absence of a transit vehicle, it actually forces it to have a longer green period, so you don't end up causing unnecessary delays to the traffic there, or at least, but more importantly, it wouldn't cause capacity issues. And what that would do is it would mean that at least when pedestrians press the button, it does at least guarantee a moderately long green for traffic. Because if you shorten the minimum green to be really short, and then you allow everyone to call that minimum green, including pedestrians, you could actually create capacity issues for traffic here. But buses have a pretty short green anyway, so it's a bus calling the phase. It's not a big deal if traffic has a short green, because they're going to have a short red as well. But you wouldn't want to do that for pedestrians because the pedestrian time is quite long. So if you have a very short minimum green for traffic, and you allow pedestrians to call that every single time quickly, then you could actually end up having a shortage capacity. And of course, the ideal solution, even better, would be to have fully actuated operation. So you would have detectors upstream here for the traffic approaching, so that if there happens to not be any traffic, the pedestrian always just gets a green right away. But at the same time, it's not going to cause capacity issues, because if there is traffic, it will give the traffic the time it needs to clear the queue before the pedestrians get their green.